be the end objective. So with that, I'll hand it over to Hiten and Pratham, and thank you so much.
Thanks. And Ankur, can you just give the host rights to Hiten and Pratham so they can share their screens?
Done. I'm doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you, Ankur, for this opportunity, and thanks, Pratik, to share or set the context probably for everybody here that it's not about a client and a organization or a vendor relationship. It's more about collaboration, partnerships, and with that, let me share my screen and run you through a quick introduction of what Mindler has been doing, why we have been doing what we have been doing for so many years. And I hope my screen is visible. So welcome for today's session. And we today are going to introduce you to the revolutionary approach that Mindler has taken in last 7 years, working with schools and universities across the country, as well as, in the Middle East side of the world. Today's agenda would be to give you a brief overview about what Mindler has been doing, talking about Mindler's ecosystem at schools, how we are working with schools on a day-to-day basis, and at the same time, collaborating with universities. How do we help universities reach out to students, and what do we do with them? So before we get into what we do, it's very important equally to understand who are the people behind who's made what it is today. So it's a team of, obviously, Pratik is our founder and CEO of the organization. He, along with other people, have developed alumni. They are alumni of Harvard, ISB, IITs, and world's leading psychometrician. And that's one of the reasons we have the largest rating when it comes to the accuracy index is at 97.2%. Also, the platform is built based on the largest research and not only talking about the conventional careers, but also the non-conventional, the modern careers, which are yet to come in the market in next 5 to 10 years time period. Highest reliability, Bhakti has already mentioned about it in terms of the feedback, and we really value the feedback which we get from our schools because they are the people who are using it on a day-to-day basis, and it is equally important for us as an organization to ensure that we leave no gaps in building the system for our students. At the same time, we've also been awarded as the best career guidance platform by the National Startup Awards, Entrepreneur India and Education World. Also being recognized by the Ministry of Science and Technology within the country and Ministry of State in UAE. Again, as I said, incubated by IIM Ahmedabad and ISB Hyderabad. So the kind of people who are involved in building the platform, in getting the products being built on a day-to-day basis to ensure that our students and our schools get the best in the world. Overall, we have impacted around 2.5 million odd students. And through the ICCC, we have trained and certified 40,000 plus educators, become career coaches, and have started their journey in the career guidance industry. Key product highlights that we'll be talking about today or of Mindler is comprehensive guidance system portal for the schools, automated career planning and tools for the students, the international certificate and credential program for the educators, where we have trained 40,000 plus educators across the country, alumni platform for schools to keep a track of what is happening to the students once they move out of the school, and also not to keep just the track, but to keep, engage with them at the same time, and building in personalized roadmap for every student on their career journey and on their college application journey. We've been in the news for quite some time. Some of the top news channels and within the industry have picked up Mindler as their case studies and published about Mindler as well in the past. Some of the awards and recognitions that we just spoke about: Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Holon IQ, Top 100 EdTech India and South Asia, Entrepreneur India, and so on. So I would now want to hand over it to Pratham, who would talk about what and how we have been working with schools across the country in the last 7 years, and would be more than happy to take any questions towards the end of the presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Hiten, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here in such a large number. I am going to meet a few of you very soon today at Hiten's house. So would be very happy to meet face to face as well. Hiten, I will share my screen. So if you can stop sharing. So I'm going to share my screen. Just give me 1 second. I hope you can, all of you can see my screen. So basically, I a word of caution. The internet here in Mumbai is very poor right now because of the rains. So just in case something goes off, Hiten, you can please carry on. Great. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how Mindler is impacting the schools, right? I'm going to be covering the schools aspect. Basically, we have impacted 2.5 million plus students till now and 40,000 plus educators. We have worked with the best schools in India. So right from your Doon School to Hyderabad Public School to Jamnabai to Kodaikanal International School, to a lot of them, right? So we are present in 200 plus schools, and we are, giving a lot of value and adding a lot of value to these schools. What we have identified in our journey of 7 years is that students really lack clarity. They really don't know what their strengths and weaknesses are. Of course, a lot of their career choices are biased. A lot of them are impulsive and they really don't know a lot of career options. At Mindler, we conducted a very large survey where we realized that more than 93% of the students only know of less than 7 career options because they don't get the right kind of career guidance. This is the exact problem that we are trying to solve, right? How are we trying to solve this? We are trying to solve this by creating a future that starts with self-discovery. And this we are doing through a 12-step guide that we implement in all our schools. Yes, not necessarily all the schools take all the 12 steps, but yes, most of them do take these 12 steps. And I am here to talk about these 12 steps and take you on a step-by-step understanding of all of these things. So number one, we've created a very comprehensive curriculum for career guidance, right? What we really believe is that every school, it's mandatory for students to take career guidance because it is, one of the most important decisions that you take in your life. So we have, let's say for 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, so on and so forth, we have a very, very comprehensive career guidance curriculum that we have created. This includes your webinars, assessment, virtual internships, virtual career simulators, all of that, right? Moving on, the second step is the career assessment. So, I don't have to talk too much about it because Bhakti and Hiten have already touched upon it, but just a quick few facts. We touch upon 56 parameters, 5 different dimensions, and we have the highest accuracy in India, which is 97% plus, right? What is important and pertinent to note at this moment is that we have a separate stream and subject selection test for classes 8 and 9, and we have a career selection test, which is for class 10 to 12. And we have a separate one for graduates as well. Immersive virtual career simulator. So this is the step number 3. Now, what we want to do is after the assessments are done, let's say, we tell the student what are the top 3, top 5 careers that, they are really meant for. However, what we realized is that a lot of the students really don't understand these careers, right? So for example, we are talking about data science, we are talking about digital marketing, we are talking about psychology. Most of these students really don't understand this. So what we did was we created a completely immersive world where students can live the lives of these careers for 3 hours, 4 hours, right? So for example, if it's data science, we really break down an entire project, which is, right from data collection to data cleaning to, actually creating an algorithm and then testing that algorithm. We make the students do these things for them to really understand what the career is all about. We have 36 careers, and a lot of these careers are actually, affiliated with some university. So the student gets a certificate of that particular university. So this particular part, Hiten is going to be covering shortly after a few minutes. The next step is that of career discovery and exploratory platform. So now what is this, right? We have created a complete library. We have blogs which students can go through, and they can really understand step by step what these careers are about. So, your library will have, if you want to take up XYZ career, what are the steps? What do you do? Which is your entrance exam? What are the colleges? All of that, right? There are vlogs, there are blogs, there's a lot of things that we offer to the students as well. The next step is basically your career pathways, your planning tool. So once the student has understanding as to which career option he or she wants to pick up, they then, decide which is the right college for them. What is the entrance exam, all of that. So all of that can be understood from the career pathways that we plan, and these are really personalized for each and every student. The next step is your one-on-one career guidance. So we have, coaches, which are the best in the world, certified coaches, and they take one-on-one sessions with the students in the schools. So this also adds, to that personalized career guidance, to the personal touch, and this really helps the students as well. The next step is basically of profile evaluation and building. So let's say I am a student and I put down all my achievements, right, from all the competitions that I've won, all the leadership roles that I've taken, all of that, I put it down in the profile evaluation and building step. And what happens is that it gives me a score as to, gives me an understanding whether I need to really, add on to things, whether I need to do extra things, or how good my entire profile is. So that is what also happens in this particular step. The next step is basically for schools, right? Which is they really want to track where their alums are. What are they currently doing? Which university are they studying? Or maybe, what are they doing in life? So we have an alumni tracking and engagement platform which helps schools to understand where the alums are, what they are doing, what is happening, and we give them analytical insights as well into where their alums are and what are they exactly doing. The next step basically is corporate experience. So Bhakti was talking about the corporate partnerships that we have built. Currently, we have programs with Puma and with HRX. What we really want to do is we want to give the students the right kind of skill sets from the best companies in the world. So we have Puma teaching marketing. We have HRX teaching, what happens in the metaverse, NFT, all of that. So these are the programs that we bring to the school students for them to really understand what happens and how does a corporate work. So this is something that we are offering as well. The next offering then is basically about the scholarship hunt, which is where we give students scholarships to various kind of universities, where they they basically get access to these scholarships. They understand basically yes, I'm so sorry. So basically here the students get access to these scholarships that where we we partner with universities and offer these scholarships to the students, right? The next step is the analytics, right? So schools really want to understand what are their students, which careers are they looking for, which streams are they looking for, what's happening. So we give the right kind of analytics to the schools so that they can understand more about, the career decisions and the career choices of their students. So this is what the analytics platform does for the schools. And finally, what we also believe, which Bhakti also touched upon, is the ICCC program, which is the International Certified Career Coach Program, where we help educators become certified career coaches. Right, there are 3 levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. And we provide these to educators where they can understand everything about what a career coach does and also become a certified career coach. So these are the 12 steps which Mindler undertakes to most of the schools, most of the partner schools that we are partnered with. So this was the students part, right? So the schools part. I would now like to hand over to Hiten to talk about the university part and how the schools and how basically Mindler connects the schools and the students to the universities as well. So over to you, Hiten.
Thanks, Pratham, for that. So let me share my screen immediately. Yes, great. So what Pratham was talking about, how we have been working with schools across the country, what are the various things that we are doing with schools depending on what their requirements are. Every school has a different need, every student has a different need, and that's the best part, that Minders platform and program can be customized based on what schools and universities need, based on what the kind of audience that you want to deal with, or what is it that you want to address with that particular audience. So Mindler also works as a bridge between students and the universities, helping students to understand more about what are the various kinds of institutions across the country. We've already had 1400 plus institutions within India, and not to add more trouble to that, but then again, there are global organizations, global institutions across the world, which students are interested, or even if not interested, they're keen to know more about them. They want to understand what is it that they have to offer. Is it viable to even go to a specific country to do certain specific courses or not? And that's where Mindler works as a bridge to bring all of that in one place. And give that information to the students in terms of what is it that you should look at and how should you look at that information. So let's see how Mindler works.
Hiten, I'm so sorry to cut you, but there's a request to, for you to speak louder or maybe, get the mic closer.
Yes, not a problem. So I believe I'm audible now. So Mindler also works, with schools and universities now. And it's a 360-degree branding and engagement solution to connect with students and educators across the country as well as in UAE. So what do we offer for universities? We do student connects through Mindler Scholarship and Talent Hunt, which Pratham just spoke about. We will talk about that in the further slides in detail to understand what are the key benefits, advantages, how do we work with students on that, and how do we work with universities on the other side. Mindler's custom assessment portal, again for Student Connect to generate leads with student. A lot of universities use Mindler assessment to evaluate the student's profile and screen the student's profile at an initial level. We'll see more about that as well. Career simulation, which Pratham spoke about, why for a student it is more important to experience a career today before they even actually get into a particular course and into an institution. So get more clarification on that. We will look at that as well in detail. International certification program, which is targeting towards the educators across the country, gives an opportunity for institutions to be in front of the audience across the country. We've seen our every month cohort is usually around 300 to 350 educators from across the country and in UAE. We've recently started Mindler Leadership Series and the Educator Symposium across the country. We've hit 3 cities already, and we will be very soon in Calcutta on 3rd of August. We'll talk about that also, of why we are doing this and how it is helping schools across the country. Some of our current and past partners in terms of universities, so we've worked with Amity to Ahmedabad University, to Shivnadar, to SRM, to Manipal, and the international universities also. At the same time, they see a value when we work with our partner schools, and how do we help all of these institutions to connect with students to give them clarity. So let's look at Mindler's Scholarship and Talent Hunt, which is connecting career-focused talent from India and UAE to leading institutions. If you look at this, what are we saying here is, if a student is very career-focused and there is a talent, but one of the major issues, even on TOC groups, which we have spoken very often about, is the information to scholarships within India and outside India. It's so complicated across a country for a student to understand what is the eligibility criteria, what is the roadmap that they should follow. If they're looking for scholarships, is it too last minute for me to apply to them? What level of documents would I need? Would I need financial documents of my parents to be submitted? All sort of questions are coming across. But if you look at if you look at the top institutions, whether it's public or private, talking about scholarships, the information is not that clear for a student if I'm talking from a student's perspective. So let's look how Mindler is simplifying all of this information for a student at one place. So in last couple of years, Mindler Scholarship has hit around 100,000 odd students across the country. And if you see, 61% of these students come from the CBSE schools, 24% of the students are coming from state board schools, 10% of them are coming from ISC and the other regional boards across the country. If you look at the number of schools that these students are coming from is 1100 plus schools across. And the streams that they're looking at to apply for, science is 51.7, commerce is 34.2, commerce or business management you talk about, and humanities is 14%. And if you look at the male-female gender ratio, it's male is 47.9 and female is 52.1. Over a period of last couple of years, we've offered 3,000 plus scholarships to the students who have gone through the rigorous process of understanding which are these institutions who are offering scholarships and what's the process behind. What is the value proposition for a university when they partner with Mindler in reaching out to students? One is absolutely you be a part of the exclusive group of universities within India and also at a global level. There's a coffee table book which is printed as well as in the digital format, which goes to students. At the same time, it goes to educators across the country. We send it to the schools, we courier it to the schools where they get to know about what are the various things that university has to offer, what are the top courses, what's the admission process, what's the scholarship process. All of that information is available to the student as well as to the educators sitting inside the school. Showcase your institution to as a brand and its courses to the target group of students. Now, if I'm a student and if I'm looking to, get into Flame or Ashoka, and when I see on the platform and when I see on the portal that, oh, this university is offering scholarship, let me look at what they have to offer. That's the targeted outreach that you're doing with the students. We also curate the students' profile to extend scholarships to the best talents across the country. We can talk more about it one-on-one when, in case if any university representatives are here and you want to discuss more about it, you can always get on a call and do that. For a university, it's also important to understand the profile of a student who is applying for a scholarship. There are various eligibility criteria from institution to institution when it comes to scholarship. And we provide you academic information, we provide you aptitude information, we provide you leadership quotient information of a student to understand you for whether it's a right fit in the scholarships or not. Then again, focused regional and demographic level student mapping, which is done by the team at Mindler. So if I am an institution focused heavily on the southern part of the country and I want to do an outreach only to the southern part of the country students, that's possible as well on the platform itself. Let's look at what our coffee table book looks like. This is what we send it to the schools and also to the students. So it talks about the university, the USPs of the institutions, awards and accolades of the institution, research and faculty highlights. Again, one of the most important information which today all the educators or the counselors are talking about and want to know more and more about which institution is offering what kind of research facility to the students. Admission process of the institution and the timelines, key programs offered, industry types, again, most important when it comes for to make a decision, which institution to pick up from, and the campus infrastructure. So these are a few snapshots that we've picked up from our coffee table book. And also the inauguration last year was done by Kiran Bedi, and prior to that, it was done by Vivek Oberoi. So this year again, stay tuned. We will be doing our inauguration somewhere in the month of October to November. We'll release the information and make it public. So stay tuned for more on this. Moving on to International Certified Career Coach. Now, what we are trying to do is a couple of years back, we were, a few years back, we were talking about the scarcity of teachers across the country, that we don't have enough teachers in the country itself to teach inside the classroom. And come today, we talk about the number of counselors that India needs today in every school, the number of students that are passing out every year versus the number of counselors. If you see in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, one of the major concern is there aren't teachers who are skilled enough to talk about the kind of careers which are available. At the same time, there are people who want to be counselors, and that's where Mindler is pitching in here. For a university, if you see our past cohorts, we've done almost 40,000 plus educators on the platform. And this year again, and this month again on 28th and 29th of July, we will have a cohort of another 300 to 350 people from it. If you see what a university gets here, they get to connect with 300 plus educators across the country every month. And this is happening every month. You work with us, you partner with us as a knowledge partner for a preferred career domain. And that's where you pitch in. So if I am a law institute and I want to focus more on law, you come in as a partner and you talk to all the educators who want to be the career coach in the future, and you give them the domain knowledge about what all goes into becoming a law student tomorrow. If you see our cohorts spread out, 20% of these are principals and vice principals. Very surprising that these, if you see, there is a very large interest from the school leaders itself, because they are the ones who are dealing with students and parents on a day-to-day basis. Counselors, 23% of these are counselors. 19% of these cohorts from these cohort is teachers or academic coordinators. And that's the impact that we intend to create in the market today, that every teacher should be able to talk about a career that a student would want to get into in the future. So the opportunity is to engage with these educators and opinion makers to position your brand to them, in front of them. Some of our speakers at the ICCC virtual conferences is leading psychometrician of the country, Professor N.K. Chadda. We've got principal of Hyderabad Public Schools, Kandbali, Parikshit Dhanda, who's again India's leading career coach and director at Mindler. If you see Kaizar Dopeshi, who is the head of school and also a part of the International Schools Association, Dr. Anurab Singh, we have been ensuring that, people and leaders who've got immense knowledge and have gained knowledge for all these years, they are the ones who are talking to the students, talking to the educators and helping them to be a career coach for their own school students. Coming to Mindler's custom assessments portal, if you see, assessment is again what Bhakti, what Pratik, and what Pratham mentioned about. Our assessments need no introduction. They've been tested, tried, and evaluated by several students across the country. And some of our associated partners at the assessment who use Mindler's assessment portal to reach out to students and to understand their profile in depth is Gus, Videshil, SRM University, and so on. And let's look at the sample landing page. So these are co-branded pages which gets, and this page can be customized as per the university's requirement, what all information you need to capture at the first level that can be taken into consideration. You get.
Hey, Hiten, sorry to barge in. We have like maybe 2 more minutes. We have to go to Q&A after this.
Sure. So
Okay.
look inside the dashboard where you can keep a track of all the students that you're meeting, connecting, and where is taking your assessments. A peek into that. Orientation style, interest, personality type, verbal aptitude, spatial aptitude. And then coming to the top 5 careers which the assessment comes out with for every student. This is a sample report which goes to the student. This is again co-branded sample report. It's a career discovery report which talks about the strengths of the student, the weakness of the student. At the same time, what is the development plan for that student if I want to pursue that specific career? What is my dominant style? What is the career match when it comes to a specific career that I'm looking at? And last but not least, but yes, virtual career simulators. Pratham has already spoken a lot about immersive learning. Bhakti has been very vocal about immersive learning all these months. And some of our partners with whom we have designed the entire course or the curriculum for the student to understand more about fashion design, to computer engineering, to startup where we've partnered with Masters Union, artificial intelligence, again, Universal AI University, IRM to talk about risk management, sports management. We've also come up with civil services, pilot, and name the careers that you would find it on the platform. So as on today, we are at 40 plus careers. By the end of this year, we plan to be at 55 odd careers in this. And that will be a combination of conventional, non-conventional careers as well. 30,000 plus students have already gone through the process. They today have got clarity in terms of what is the right career for them, what are the skill sets needed, and what is the development plan. And our students have rated us at 4.6 out of 5, 150 plus schools where this is already implemented as we speak today. And as I mentioned, we are at 40 plus careers today. Some of the careers, I can share a detailed list looking at the time constraint that we have with each one of you, and I'll drop you my email ID at the end of the conversation where you can drop an email or connect with me over a WhatsApp to understand which careers are available in case if you're looking to partner on any of these. Benefits is theory versus practice. Definitely learn from the best. At the same time, university is becoming a part of it now. You also, the student gets assessment report. At the same time, university gets an assessment report of the student as well to understand what are the skill sets of the student and what is the development plan that our student would need tomorrow. Certificate of experience every student gets on the completion of the program. Some of the snapshots of the videos that we have taken. So we'll talk more, we'll share more information on these as well with each one of you. Sneak peek into the program. So it's a typical office setup where a student feels that you're sitting inside the office, being that person today, rather than getting into the course and you have another 5 years to be that person. A sample of the certificate. Again, all of this is co-branded. The media coverage which happens on the platform. And coming to last one slide, which is the leadership symposium and conclave. So we are conducting symposium with school leaders in 23 cities over next 9 months. We've already done one in Faridabad at Manav Rachna. We've done one in Mumbai at CP Goenka. We're doing on 3rd of August at Lakshmipad Singhania in Calcutta, and we'll share the schedule for the further cities as and when we start working on that. Moving to the conclave that we are planning. So this is a conclave with, again, school leaders, where we are bringing in the people from the industry, the school leaders, and the university team to ensure that, the gaps that we see today among schools not knowing what is the expectation of an higher ed institution, higher ed to understand more from the industry people, what is their expectation, and to interact among themselves to ensure that, we bridge the gap on a day-to-day basis. So this will be a cohort of around 80 to 100 odd school leaders in 5 different cities in the country. And if you want to know more about it, you can connect with me. We'll have a detailed discussion. This is open not for 20 or 40 universities in the country. This is a very closed door, only invite-only invitations for the schools and the universities. And it's open only for 5 institutions. As of today, we've onboarded 2 institutions in the country. So if you want to know more, please do feel free to connect with me. A snapshot of what we did in Bombay and in Faridabad. And that's about it. We are open to questions, Bhakti.
All righty. Thank you so much. And guys, if we have any questions for Hiten and for Pratham, speak now. This is your chance. Okay. All right. Leonard wants to have the details about the conclave in Kolkata. Leonard is from Kriya University. And Mr. Bharadwaj had asked a question: are scholarships available for public universities or institutes like IIM Indore?
So right now, no, not for the public institutions, because every institution has a different criteria. And right now, they're not partners of mine. But yes, we would be more than happy to partner with public institutions and share more and more information to our students across the country.
Awesome. I think, does anybody have any questions? I have a bunch of questions about your internship. So
Okay,
would anybody like?
Link here?
Yeah, Swagat, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so just wanted to understand, like, how do you work with people in the education sector who is working, like, whose product is maybe complementary to yours?
So Swagat, that's an interesting question. So I believe one of the things which Prateek mentioned at the beginning of the conversation is more onto collaborations, right? And if we feel that, there's a product which is complementing to what Mindler is doing today, or maybe Mindler's product is complementing to what you're doing today, right? We would be more than happy to have a conversation around that, and we can see how we can collaborate and we can work together because the end goal is to make the difference and to give it to what the students are needing today, rather than trying to compete with each other.
And in fact, Mindler has a track record of some really interesting collaborations with other companies who are in the space. They're already collaborating with a few, and they are one of the very few companies that's actually collaborating with other companies. So it's definitely, Swagat, something that you should explore for sure with the team. Yep, awesome. Anu, go ahead.
Hi. So my question is again quite similar to what Swagat just asked. How do you propose, can you collaborate with independent education counselors?
So just for context, Swagat runs an organization. Anu is an IEC independent counselor. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in overseas education space mainly.
So, Anu, we do have a lot of independent counselors who are also part of the Minders ecosystem. A lot of our ICCC cohorts and people who are moving out of the cohort, if they want to partner, if they want the partnership in terms of looking at our assessments, and we always work on that. You get a co-branded platform to get access to your students and all of that. So we can talk about it and we can share with you more in terms of what this partnership looks like and what would be in it for you.
Could you drop a phone number or email of one particular person who can answer? Maybe we can fix
another opportunity as well could be around Anu, exploring how you can. Can you guys hear me?
We lost for a couple of seconds in between.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now okay. It is on.
Yeah, I was just saying that you can also, Anu, and all the other IECs here, you can definitely explore how you can work with their internship products as well, recommending it to your students. So you can definitely explore that as well.
Sure, would get back. In fact, I was looking in that space, like whether it's just for their own students or would, so I would like to know about, if you can come back on your email ID. I would like to take a quote on that. What is the fee that is being charged per student, whether I'm paying or the student is paying, and what all is included. Thank you. That's all.
Absolutely, Anu. We'll share with you a lot of information on this lines.
Perfect. So, Hiten, I would also like to come in over here. So, Anu, basically, I'm sorry, my internet went away and I had to rejoin. But what we have, sorry.
Go ahead, Pratham.
Yeah. So basically, what we have is we have a complete Mindler partner platform where a lot of counselors across India and the UAE have partnered with us, and they use our entire platform, SaaS platform that we've created. So that is something that you can partner on. The second thing is that we have created virtual career simulators or virtual internships, and a lot of independent counselors, especially the study abroad counselors, use these virtual internships to basically help their students build their profiles. And thirdly, you could also partner with us on the corporate experiences, which is the Puma HRX corporate experiences. Happy to talk more about it. I'll share my and Hiten's email ID over here.
Thanks, Pratham.
Thank
Do we have
you.
any more questions? 1 second, something 12 modules. Okay, so Renoza is asking, out of the 12 modules, can we opt for just 1 or 2 modules, like just the assessment or the virtual internships? When you say module, Renoza, you mean their services? I'm guessing the answer is yes, but Hiten, go ahead.
Yes,
Basically,
absolutely.
out of the entire package that Hiten sir said, if as a school counselor we would like to opt only for the assessments, is there some package for the entire school, or if an individual students would like to independently take it across?
Absolutely, Renoza. So we do, have the flexibility for you to pick and choose, as we mentioned in our presentation as well, in terms of what is it that you need for your students, and we can create that kind of a partnership program for you, and it can be shared with the students. But at the same time, Renoza, this would be at a school level and not individually for a student to look at when it comes to specific modules. When it comes to internships, with whether it is or the corporate experience with Puma or the HRX, that is definitely any student can pick and choose if they want to enroll or not to enroll.
What about the assessment? That also has to be taken from the school level, or if individual student like to opt?
Assessment at a school level.
Okay.
Bhavya has thanked Hiten and Pratham. Bhavya, are you here with us? Does Bhavya school use the platform, Hiten?
Not yet. We've just done a workshop.
No, I think we are in conversation. So in
Okay.
fact, I was telling Hiten the other day that I would love to see it, what exactly is offering. So, but it was good. So I'm so glad I joined and I got to see it myself. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, Nidhi, I know your internet is unstable, so I am reposting their email ID so you can get in touch. Just for your context, Hiten and Pratham, Nidhi is, she works in the chairperson's office at HCL Foundation, which is basically the Vidya Gyan group of schools, and she heads the entire counseling cell there. So I'm just pasting her, I'm just pasting their email IDs here. Yeah. Okay. If we don't have any other questions, guys, thank you for joining. Okay, hold on. We have someone here who wants to share. So, okay, guys, I'm at Nehal's house, my colleague, and she wants to share her son's experience with.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
hi, Hiten, and hi, Pratham. So, my son just completed his grade 10 and he's now in grade 11. And he completed his Puma workshop. Tons of learning. It was very exciting opportunity for him, and I think it was an eye opener also because he's not a very studious boy. So sometimes it's not only about the workshop just keeping on enhancing a profile. It also does job of letting a child know or letting an adolescent know that there's like a big world out there and you need to learn a lot of things. So thanks guys for putting it up, and we enjoyed the Puma workshop, the entire program.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
And
Thank you.
go ahead, Pratham, go ahead.
Thanks,
Just going
Nehal.
off the topic, sorry. Okay.
एक सेकंड भव्या, एक सेकंड, यहाँ पे थोड़ा थैंक यू चल रहा है, रुक जा. हाँ, go ahead, Pratham.
Thank you, Nehal, for this. I'm sure Max really enjoyed it. Yeah, and thanks again. Thanks for this.
Yeah, cool.
All right, and go ahead, Bhavya now. Go ahead, Baba.
So I was just going off the topic and asking Nehal, why is it that we've not seen her in the TOC retreat?
He's coming tonight.
Like when
He's coming tonight to the Bombay meet. We'll talk about that later.
tonight is Bombay.
Tonight is Bombay.
Bombay, yes.
Yeah.
Excited to be there.
Yeah, you better be there. Huh? Don't skip it. Okay, cool, awesome. Hello, Kautilya School of Public Policy. Do you have any questions for us, Miss Priyanka Roy Ghosh?
No, nothing at this point in time. Sorry, I joined in late, had to wrap up a few things, but I've heard a lot of exciting things about this entire program, and now with the new collab. Hitin, good job. Looking forward. I don't know. My kids definitely at this point for master students don't need anything in terms of, but I hope that you'll start something for.
No, they do. They in fact
They
do. The Puma and the HRX Center. So that's a big myth, huh? Actually. So one of the feedbacks that Nehal was giving me was that the level of content in the Puma, program was very high. So it was actually something that can be taken up by undergrad and postgrad kids both.
In fact, but we have a
yeah.
lot of students coming from Atlas to Christ University and even the public universities, where students are enrolling themselves into the Puma and the HRX programs.
That's great, because then I think we have something more to explore about. I mean, of course, I will catch up on your session over the weekend as well. But then our kids also look for internships. They have to do it mandatorily. So anything that comes up, I mean, be great.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all so much. And whoever wants to get in touch, if you want access to their very generous offer, please just fill out the form so they know who to send it to, the platform access as well as the internship, the one internship. I have done the architecture internship. I thought it was incredibly interesting. And then I also did the advertising internship, which was also very interesting. It's a simulation. It's an online simulation. So it's very, very different. And it's very different from how you imagine a regular internship to be. Kids will not be asked to get virtual coffee for anybody online. It's going to be very interesting. So check it out. And thank you once again, Hitain, Prateek, and Pratham. You guys are doing a great job. Mindler has been rock solid for so long in the market. And we're really excited to see much, much more and many more schools looking at your programs.
Thank you, Bhakti.
Awesome. Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you, everyone, for attending this.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye. Have fun in Bombay. Bye, Neha.
Yeah,
You should have been here. You should have been here. You come
I-
here now. This chat will start now. You should
I
have
will
been
whine
here.
a little bit that you're in Bombay. I saw you putting up the Barish ka poster. I was like, Bombay.
It's
Hey, Priyanka. Yeah, you should have been here.
I know.
soon Bombay. It's
You come back to
raining.
Hyderabad, it's equally whiny and rainy,
I'm
right? now.
dying to come back to Hyderabad. Somebody, oh shit, it's recording. Wait, let me stop.
No, please.